Good morning, students. All the students of Standard 10 are most welcome to my today's video teaching. Today, I, N.K. Haldar from DAB Public School, CCL Giridih, am going to discuss the poem A Tiger in the Zoo, written by Leslie Norris. He was a famous poet and a short story writer. He was born in 1921 in Wales. Since his childhood, he developed a desire that he would become a poet in future. He had interest in the poems of Dylan Thomas and Vernon Watkins. His first poem was published in the year 1938, but his first book of poetry came in 1943. In 1942, he married Catherine, better known as Kitty, and moved to England to train themselves as teacher. He sought to fame with the publication of Finding Gold. His works won many awards like Coleman Delay Poetry Prize and Catherine Mansfield Memorial Award. Dear students, as you all know that the urge to roam freely and to live freely is not only limited to human beings. The animals such as the big cat family, lion, tiger, they can't be domesticated, can't be caged. In this poem, their quiet rage says a lot of things that you can be defended because they protect and conserve some species of wild animals. But this is partly true. This cage and zoos cannot be the real habitat of wild animals. They may be useful for educating the public, but any curtailment of their freedom is a kind of torture and against all natural justice. Okay? Dear students, let us proceed to know the central idea and the summary of the poem. Okay? The tiger is proud creature. It is shame that such a powerful, agile, and an untamable animal should be caged in a zoo. In his natural and wild habitat, he doesn't need help of any kind to hunt his own food. His hunting of deer at the water hole may seem rather cruel. He hunts not for pleasure but for food. His presence in the natural habitat is necessary to maintain the balance of food chain. Sometimes the tiger may stray into human habitation. He only displays his strength and ferociousness, but he does not harm anyone till he is provoked. Even in the cage, he ignores all those who come to the zoo to see him as an entertainment. Like human beings, the tiger too loves and values his freedom. He shows his anger, hatred, and even defiance by walking about in rage in his cage. Here, the poet imagines what the tiger would be doing in case he failed to find any prey in his natural habitat. He says that the tiger would be growling at the edge of jungle near some village. He would be showing his white fangs and claws while moving here and there. He would thus become a cause of terror for the villagers. The poetess here gives a hint that if we destroy the natural habitat of tigers, they will be forced to turn to our towns and villages to find their food. Okay, let us dear students, let us enjoy and analyze the poem. First, the poem begins with, he stalks in his vivid stripes the few steps of his cage on pads of velvet quiet in his quiet rage. Clear? Here the meaning stalk, S-T-A-L-K, stalks, to walk in an angry and proud way. Okay, vivid, you know, vivid means clear, very bright. Stripes, S-T-R-I-P-E-S, stripes means long lines on the body, stripes. Okay, and cage, so you know, pads, cushion. Okay, and velvet is soft silk cloth. And one thing you have to see, the spelling here, quiet, Q-U-I-E-T, quiet. Quiet means that is calm. Okay, making very little or no noise, calmness. Whereas here it is Q-Y-E-T. One another spelling is very similar, Q-U-I-T. Quiet means complete. Okay. So the meaning of this first stanza is, the tiger is bound in his cage. Stripes on his skin are clearly visible. Okay. His heels look like pads of velvet. Okay. Pads of velvet. On his pads of velvet, he walks quietly within his cage. He doesn't seem to be happy to be in his unnatural abode. Okay, abode is shelter. Okay, unnatural abode is, that is in here it is in cage, zoo, where they are being domesticated, they are being made captive. So without showing his anger, he walks around quietly in his cage. Next stanza, he should be lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass near the water hole where plump deer pass. Yes, lurking means waiting very secretly. Okay, somewhere. And shadow, you know, here darkness, you can also sliding through. Sliding through means moving smoothly and quietly. Water hole is small pool of water. Okay, where animals generally come and go to drink, for drinking water. And plump is fat. So the meaning of this second stanza is, the tiger knows how to ambush his hunt. He doesn't attack by challenging his prey directly. He lies in the shade of tree, that is lurking. Okay, in the shade of tree, unseen to his victims. He slides silently through the long grass before charging upon his hunt. He reaches silently to the water hole where plump and well grown up deer come to drink water. Okay, he waits there, and whenever the plump and well grown deer comes, he just attacked upon him. Okay, now next stanza, he should be snarling around houses at the jungle's edge, bearing his white fangs, his claws, terrorizing the village. Okay, here snarling. Snarling means making an aggressive growl, showing teeth. Clear? And at the jungle's edge, you know, at the outer area of jungle, clear? And bearing is that is open, not covered with. And white fangs, two long sharp teeth of the tiger. Claws, you know, nails of animals or birds. Terrorizing, that means creating fear, dreading. Okay, so the meaning, had he not been bound in his cage, the tiger would have been roaming around freely. Okay, he should have been growling around the houses of the human settlement where the human live. The tiger entered there. At the outskirts of the jungle, there he would open out his sharp, long, white teeth and paws just to terrorize the villager, so that the villagers get afraid. Okay, and now the next stanza, but he is locked in a concrete cell. His strength behind bars, stalking the length of his cage, ignoring visitors. Yes, locked, you know, put under lock. Concrete cell, a cell made up of concrete materials. Okay, bars, prison, ignore, that is to pay no attention towards anything. Visitors, okay, the persons who visit the zoos or cave. Okay, so the meaning of this stanza is, unfortunately, the tiger is not left free in the jungle, but is locked in a cage made of cement and concrete in a zoo. His unbound strength is caged in behind the bars. There, locked in the cage, he walks around arrogantly, ignoring the visitors. Okay, so now the last stanza is, he hears the last voice at night, the patrolling curse, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. And tiger has always such appearance. Perhaps, dear students, you have studied in your childhood days that one poem, The Tiger, written by William Blake, the tiger, burning bright in the forest of the night. So tiger is always the symbol of fairness, okay, and ferociousness. So here, last voice at night means the last voice which was heard at night, Okay, and stares means looks for a long time to gaze at something. Brilliant eyes, here it is means indicated to the tiger, very bright eyes of tiger. Okay, and so the meaning of the stanza: at night the caged tiger hears the last voice of the patrolling cars. Being locked in the cage, he looks towards the sky. He goes on staring the brilliant stars that are shining freely in the sky like his brilliant eyes. Okay? Now, let us analyze the poem with its style and figure of speeches. The poem consists of 5 stanzas. Okay, there are 5 stanzas in this poem. Each is made up of 4 lines. Okay, now the rhyme scheme of the poem is, if we see the first line, he stalks in his vivid stripes. So the ending word of the first line is stripes. Then second line it is cage. If we take it the first line as A, now cage different, B, now quiet. It is also different, C, and rage. So cage rhymes with the word rage. So B. It is again B. So A, B, C, B. Similarly, in the next stanza also, if we take shadow as A, then grass different, so B, and hole different, so C, and pass. So grass rhymes with the word pass. So again B. So again it is A, B, C, B. The entire poem, okay, the rhyme scheme of entire poem is A, B, C, B, A, B, C, B. Okay. Now, the poem has 2 distinct settings. The first setting is that of the zoo, where the tiger is put in a cage, and the second setting is that of the natural habitat, wild habitat of the tiger, which should have been his real place. No. Next, we see that here the repetition of the word quiet, Q-Y-E-T, quiet, has been repeated twice in the stanza, so repetition is there. Next figure of speech is personification. How? Because here the poet has calls the tiger and addresses as he and not it. So it is personified. So personification is there. And the use of metaphor. How? Metaphor, pads of velvet. Pads of velvet. Here we find the example of metaphor. How? Now, it is used effectively in the third line of the first stanza. The tense tone represents the hidden rage of the tiger. And last stanza we see that he hears. So here the horse sound has been repeated. So it is the example of alliteration. Okay, clear? So dear students, the theme of the poem is that here the poet contrasts a tiger in a zoo with the tiger in its natural habitat, that is forest. First, he moves from zoo to the forest and again back to zoo. Actually, he wants to depict the difference between these 2 environments. And at the same time, the poet reminds us that human progress is no doubt necessary, but it should not be at the cost of destroying the habitat of such an untamable, proud animal like tiger. Why? Because as a child looks beautiful in the lap of his mother, Similarly, the beauty of wild animals lies in the darkness of the forest. Okay, thank you.